Hello all and welcome to the online class of AAP Global School. In our last class, we have seen that why food is very essential for a living being. And we have seen that why plants are called as producers. And we have seen that what are the food that we consume from the plants. We have given so many examples for the food that we consume from the plants. And at the end of the class, I gave you some duty to find out some food that consuming from animals. We will start today's class by discussing the question that I gave in last class. What are the food that we get from animals? As we all know that we get various types of food from animals. We get eggs from hen, duck and quail, etc. We get meat from hen, duck, goat and fish, etc. animals. We get milk from cow, buffalo, goat and camel. And with that milk we can prepare several dairy items like ghee, cheese and butter, etc. Finally we get honey from honeybees. The process of honey making is very interesting. The honeybees prepare the honey by collecting nectar from the plant and they store it in their beehives. These are some examples for the food that we consume from animals. Based on the food that we consume, people are categorized into two categories, that are vegetarians and non-vegetarians. Vegetarians do not eat meat. They will only eat plants and parts of plants and also fruits and vegetables. Non-vegetarians mainly eat meat and eggs as their primary food. And both vegetarians and non-vegetarians will take milk and eggs. And there is one more type of category called vegans. They won't eat animal products at all like milk, eggs and milk products, etc. They will only eat plants, parts of plants, fruits and vegetables, etc. Vegetarians, non-vegetarians and vegans are the three categories that are in humans based on their food consumption. As we have already discussed in last class, depending on the necessity, place of living and availability, food habits will change. Till now we have studied the food habits that are in human beings. Now we will expand our discussion to all animals. We will see what are the food habits for various types of animals. Depending on the nature of food habits, animals are categorized into 6 categories that are herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, decomposers and parasites. We will start learning about them one by one. First one is herbivores. Animals that eat only plants are called as herbivores. They will only eat plants as their food. Cow, goat, buffalo, giraffe, horse, deer, elephant, etc. animals are known as herbivores because they eat only plants. And most of the birds that eat nuts, berries are also called as herbivores. Herbivores will be having two kinds of teeth. Sharp cutting teeth at the front and flat grinding teeth at the back. And also most of the birds that eat nuts, berries, fruits are also called as herbivores. Now we are going to a second category, that is carnivores. The animals that eat only other animals are called as carnivores. Tigers, lions, jaguar and sharks are some examples for carnivores. They will be having long sharp teeth to tear the meat when they are eating. And some of the birds like eagles are also called as carnivores. Now the third category is omnivores. The animals that eat both plants and animals as their food are called as omnivores. Human beings, raccoons, bears and crows are some of the examples for the omnivores. Omnivores eats both plants and animals, but omnivores will not eat all kind of plant and animal because they will be having some specific kind of animal and plant that they will eat. For example, we in human beings, we will not eat all types of plants and animals. We will be having some kind of food that we eat. Other than these three kinds of animals that we have discussed till now, there are three more categories that are categorized based on their feeding habits. That are scavengers, decomposers and parasites. Now we will see them one by one. In that the fourth one is scavengers. The animals that eat mainly dead animals as their food are called as scavengers. Hyena, jackal, vulture and crow are some of the examples for scavengers. Now the fifth one is decomposers. The organisms like bacteria, snails, worms and fungi are known as decomposers because they will break down the complex organisms into simpler forms, that which are the remains of dead plants and animals. Both scavengers and decomposers are known as the cleaners for the environment because in the process of their food consumption, they will clear the dead remains of animals and plants so that the environment will be cleaned. So we call them as cleaners for the environment. With that we will go for the final category, parasites. They are the organisms that live on or inside the bodies of other living organisms and obtain the food from them. The organisms that provide food and shelter to the parasite is called as host. They usually harm the host for their living. For example, fleas and leeches. They will suck the blood of humans and other animals with the help of a pipe-like structure called proboscis. Like this, a parasite will survive by harming its host. And some more examples are tapeworm and bookworm. They will live in the digestive system of their host and feed the food that the host is digested. So whatever the food that the host is taking, it will be a waste because the food that is coming to digestive system is taken by this parasite. So host will not get any energy from this food. So it is a waste. So with this we finished the categories of animals that based on their food habits. As we have seen, there are 6 categories that are herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, decomposers and parasites. Those are the 6 categories. So with this we will end up with our today's class. And before coming to our next class, I will give you some duty like last class. That is, what happens for the animals if there are no plants on the earth? Does they survive without plants? Or else what are the conditions if there are no plants? Think about it and come for the next class. Hope that you will do your duty well. Thank you all. Stay safe.